Hi guys, welcome back to another video, and in this video it's movie review time. This video we are discussing, as you can see by the title, Daughters of the Dust. Daughters of the Dust was written, directed, and produced by Julie Dash in 1991. So let's go ahead and get into this film and I'll tell you why I like it. Okay, so Daughters of the Dust is the first film directed by an African American woman, distributed theatrically in the United States. So her film was one of the first films, or the first film by an African American woman that got full feature film distribution, and that is awesome. And I had the opportunity of being Julie Dash's mentee while I was studying at Wayne State University. I was a part of a program where she worked with students to create short films. So I got to meet her and study under her direction, and I learned a lot. She's a very put together woman, very creative. She has a way with words. The way that she speaks and the way that she writes is very eloquent and nuanced, and something I just had never seen before or experienced in a mentor, especially with her being a Black woman with so much knowledge about the arts. I learned a lot. So I'm happy to do this film review and speak about, why this film deserves all the recognition that it has gotten over the years. So this film was distributed in 1992, 1 year later, and it was different from the films that were coming out at the time. You had New Jack City in 1991, Boys in the Hood in 1991, Juice in 1992, Menace to Society then came out in 1993. And so her film really stood out and embodied women, and not just these masculine Black youth dominated films. So her film demonstrated Black women in contrast. So it was a contrast to what you were seeing at that time. And I would like to say that this film was an inspiration for Beyonce's Lemonade album. So All Night and Love Drought, you'll see images that mimic and play homage to Julie Dash's film. So let's get into the people of the film. So the cinematography was done by Arthur Jaffa, and the music was done by John Barnes. And that's one of the notes that I have here for this film, is that the tribal music by John Barnes at the beginning is mesmerizing and captivating. So the film opens up and you hear this tribal music, and you automatically want to be welcomed into this story and the lives of the people based off of this music. The visual of the dust in her hand was very memorable. So after you hear the music, you see these hands and they have dust in them. And I love. I don't know if it's the quirky side of me, but I love when films, they take elements of the title and they encompass it in the film. So we see the beautiful lavender sunset over the water and the wind blowing in the grass over the handwritten letters, and I believe that's by Bilal. The pages are rustling in the wind, so you hear that kind of that sound, the sound of the pages turning in the wind, so you know a change is going to happen. Watching this film, automatically the screenwriting is so rich. It's very rich from the very beginning. And we see at the beginning there is a love letter and the specific location. So let me just tell you guys where we are. So the setting is Ebo Landing, the sea island of the South, and the time is 1902. The specific community of this island is the Gullah Geechee people. So the women of the Peazant family are preparing to migrate off of the island up north. So this film has to deal with your old self becoming new, or what you would consider, what some would consider being new. So there is the challenge, or the opposition in this film is whether you stay on the island or whether you migrate north. So would you stay or would you go? That is a question a lot of people have, is would you stay on the island or would you leave? So this love letter was written on August 18th, 1902 by St. Julian Lastchild. So this is a Native American identified in this film, and he is the boyfriend to Iona. And she is torn with whether she will stay with her love or leave and start a new life in the North. And he represented the son of the Cherokee Nation, and they called the island Drought. So we also see another relationship in this film. We see in the film the relationship between Eli and Viola. So Eli was disturbed and emasculated about his wife, Ela, being violated by a white man. She's currently pregnant and they don't know whose child it is. We see in the film, it's pretty much a day in the life on the island, and you see the grandmother teaching the children different words and names from the Geechee culture. And two of the names were Delo for water, and Diffie for fire. And she's teaching them on the island. And Viola is doing the same. Now, Viola, she has lived a life off of the island, and she's coming back to come get them. And she has learned about Christianity. And so she's also teaching the children, and she's doing a Bible study with them. And Viola has a quote I wrote down here. She says, "Touch that mainland and fell into the arms of the Lord." So she said she touched the mainland and fell into the arms of the Lord. So she's a new woman. She's a saved woman, and she's trying to show others that they will have this new found life if they move to the north. She's coming, and Viola has come with Mr. Sneed. He is the photographer that's capturing their life on the island before they leave. So towards this part of the film, we hear the voice of Viola's unborn child. So we begin to hear that heartbeat, that voice that's inside of her, we begin to hear. So it's kind of like this turmoil within the film that we see, and then we actually get to hear it, which is brilliant. We actually get to hear it on camera and on screen. Viola is struggling internally. I'm sure doesn't feel complete anymore. She feels, violated. Later on, she uses another word that I will share when we get to that point, that describes her circumstance. And I thought that was beautiful, a beautiful choice of words that Julie Dash uses to describe the pain that these women, or she herself, has felt. So I like the girl talk with Viola, Yellow Mary, and her friend. They find the broken umbrella in the sand and they use it. The umbrella is a meaning of unity and power, and the changing of the old into the coming of the new. But a symbolism that they must stay together as one family, because the kids are also seen as Mr. Sneed is taking pictures of them, that they use the umbrella as well. So after the story that Eula is telling, we see Eula and Eli. After the story that she is telling, we see him walking on water. So she tells this story of the Igbo people walking on water, and Eli embraces her belly on his knees as he believes the ancestors' power after he walked on water and touches the wooden statue that is in the water. He believes, okay, this is my child.
Upon the ankle and the wrist, and fastened round the neck like dog collar. But chained and stopped those Igbo none. They just kept walk like the water was solid ground. And when they got to where the ship was, didn't so much as give it a look. Just walk right past it. 'Cause they was going home.
This is my child. At the presentation of the dinner, it's presented that Eula's baby will be the first child born in the North, or will it? So, you know, as we continue to watch on, we see, okay, will this child be born in the North, or will they stay on the island? So I love the set design throughout this film. The production designer does an awesome job of that. And there's plenty of food. There's plenty of food and it looks delicious. So you have the cuisine of the Gullah Geechee people. You have the shrimp and the corn and the okra, the gumbo, and, you know, other dishes that I'm, you know, not familiar with. We see that in the film, and there's plenty of it. So I like seeing that representation that, you know, perhaps they have everything on the island, and why leave all of this? The music just keeps us moving throughout the film. I love the music. There's a tribal note to it. There's a contemporary feel to it that moves it forward. And it's just beautiful and guides us through each scene. Nana Peazant says, "We are as two people in one body, the one staying here and the one going north." So that's the struggle that they're internalizing as a family, is who will stay and who will go. Mr. Sneed is looking for Bilal, and there's a man in this film, and I believe it to be Bilal, that says, he says this quote that I like to read, that kind of demonstrates what I was talking about. Films in the 1990s, at the time that this came out, was very male dominated, but Julie Dash really wanted us to see the beauty of women. And here's what he said, that he remembers about his departure from slavery into present day. He said, "Women are the sweetness of life. They're sweet to the eye because they are beautiful. They're sweet to the ears because their lovely voice and the way they sing. Women is the sweetness of life." And that's what I remember. That was nice to say. It was a Black man uplifting Black women. And that speaks volumes. The men were dressed in suits, and I believe Eli, he did not have a suit on. He did not have a suit jacket on. I believe that was to signify his manhood being his male identity being taken from him as well, because of what his wife went through. At the end of the film, Eula talks of, here's this word that I was saving. She said, ruined women. So she talked of the women in her life being ruined.
Ruined? What you say about me? I ruined too?
Whatever to be said, just say it now, Viola.
As far as this place is concerned, we never was a pure woman.
The black women in her life being ruined. So basically their bodies being objectified for money or taken advantage of without consent. So it was said that Yellow Mary used her body for money, and she was on a journey herself. She was very, I would say, troubled is the word that I'm thinking of, but I would say it was more than troubled. She was struggling, in her life, in her new life, and conflicted with the things that she had to do. She worked for a wealthy family. She lost her baby that she had. So I think that she was, here's this word again, traumatized by that whole experience. And so coming back to the island was like what she needed to fill the void in her heart and give her identity again.
Deep inside, we believe they ruined our mothers, and their mothers will come for them. And we live our lives always expecting worse, because we feel we don't deserve no better. Deep inside, we believe that even God can heal the wound of our past, so protect us from the world that puts shackles on our feet.
My God loves me and protects me and watches over me.
Even though they're going up north, you're gonna think about being ruined too. You think you can cross over to the mainland and run away from it? You're gonna be sorry if you don't change your way of thinking before you leave this place.
So here's what Eula says. We are daughters of those old dusty things Nana carries in her tin can. We carry too many scars from the past. Our past owns us. We wear our scars like armor for protection, the hard, ugly scars that no one can pass through to ever hurt us again. Let's live our lives without living in the fold of old wounds.
With the daughters of those old dusty things Nana carry in a tin can. We carry too many scars from the past. Our past owners. We wear our scars like armor for protection. Thick, hard, ugly scars that no one can pass through to ever hurt us again. Let's live our lives without living in a fall of old wounds.
You know what she talk about, old wounds. I don't
Beautiful. Oh my gosh. And let me just say, Julie Dash is a sweet person. Like, when I met her and interacted with her, she was just real and down to earth, very helpful, very wise, very youthful even. And I just learned a lot, just how to carry yourself and how to be. That was her essence, or that is her essence. So those words were just so put together to me. So Eula was having this conversation on the island before they were getting ready to leave. And so it's like, let's wake up. Let's know who we are. The story is very much about not forgetting your history, even if you want to change and evolve and become a new person and become your own person. So everybody kind of has that choice. What do you want to do for yourself? So we see the sunset and the birds are migrating. So you hear the sound of the birds and I was like, okay, are they leaving? Are they going? So I did some research on the birds, and birds fly north in the spring and fly back to the south in the autumn. So this film, they were flying back home. So it's an awesome flip. Like they're leaving and the birds are flying back. So we see the last scene, and Last Child, St. Julian Last Child, comes riding on this horse, and Iona decides not to go. She runs off, gets on the horseback, and that's the life that she chose. She decided not to go. And so the day is August 19th, 1902. And that's how the film ends. Eli and Eula, they stayed behind with Yellow Mary, and the baby was born before Nana Peazant passed on. So I just think that overall, this is a great film. The cinematography, they submitted the film to Sundance, and I believe the film won Best Cinematography. And in my opinion, this film should have won Best Picture of the Year. I believe in 1992 it should have won Best Picture, because it was just, I don't want to say before its time, because it was right where it needed to be. It was needed for the time. It represented Black women and just their beauty. And let's talk about the costumes. So the costumes, the women were in all white dresses. I watched an interview with Julie Dash, and she said she dipped the dresses. She dyed them to be like an off-white so that it could complement the brown skin tones because of the sun and because of the sand and the reflection of the sun and the sand and the faces. But I thought it was beautiful. And she said that the dresses were 10 to 15 years older than the 1902 period. And they were like Gibson dresses. We talked about the struggle and the oppression, but it was done under or over the backdrop of the Gullah Geechee people. And I thought that was beautiful. So it's a different story about the African diaspora. And I thought that it was refreshing to see. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you come back next Friday or whenever this video is posted, because things got a little busy for me, but I will continue to make these reviews highlighting Black women directors, and stay tuned for more. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video, please subscribe so that you can see the next one coming. Thank you so much.